So the Labour government have just come out in an interview, I think it was Angela Rayner that said it, that their ambition is to extend ULEZ to every town and city in the UK. By the way, sorry about the darkness of the video, it's 7:15 in the morning. So any of you who thought that the people who are doing, what they call them, Blade Runners or whatever they are, who are attacking the cameras up in London are wrong, think how you're going to feel when it comes to a town where you live, or a village, or a city, or whatever. And what I want to know is, haven't they screwed the motorist enough? I mean, there's tax on just about everything. There's tax on the fuel you buy, you pay tax on the insurance, you pay road tax. Just about anything that has anything to do with motoring is taxed. And then you've got all these mobile speed cameras. So if you get caught there, you get fined. And then obviously you get points and your insurance goes up. Not that you shouldn't be speeding, alright, but there it is. But that's their ambition. So you might think, well, that's alright, I don't live in London, or I don't live in Bristol, or wherever. But sooner or later, under a Labour government, and I dare say that the Conservatives will do the same, because it really doesn't matter who's in, right? The back offices are the ones that run the country, and they are viciously extreme left wing. The majority of them are, and a lot of people who can't afford to own a car don't want others to own a car. If I can't have it, you shouldn't have it, kind of thing. And there are a lot of fucking people who've been brainwashed about this net zero green agenda bullshit. The funniest thing I saw lately was a Just Stop Oil person sat on a plane going on holiday. They had the t-shirt on, sat on a plane. You're like, that is just typical of them. They've got a clue, and they actually don't believe in it. They want to push their things on everybody else, but don't want to play the game themselves. But yeah, so how will you feel if you start seeing cameras going up in your locality, and all of a sudden, the moment you move your vehicle off the drive, you've got to pay, I don't know, 10 quid, 15 quid, I don't know how much they charge. How will you feel about that? Will you then get very passionately on board with the rest of the people who are adjusting these cameras in London? And they have adjusted quite a lot. And then you see these mobile camera vans, ULEZ camera vans, that are being either boxed in or other things are happening to them. I don't blame him. We live in Big Brother times now anyway. London is one of the most camered up, I think it was at one point the most camered up city in the world. Imagine that. It was said that you couldn't move from one part of London to the next without being watched all the way you went. Now I don't see why we should pay a clean air tax. Take for instance this vehicle. This vehicle has an AdBlue system on it, and it injects that into the exhaust, which apparently reduces the emissions. Now it actually has, I think, about 3 different filters in it, and then it's quite funny because every now and again it needs to clean itself out, so it injects neat fuel into the exhaust and lights that up. So I don't get it, but whatever. But all of this green stuff is nothing more than another way to take your money off you and rinse you out of your hard-earned pound or dollar, depending on where you are in the world. When is it going to stop? I'll tell you when it isn't going to stop. The only time this will stop is when people go out on the street and kick off. No, I'm not advocating for violence. I'm not allowed to. That will be against YouTube standards and tighter guidelines, so I won't say that at all. What I will say though is, all the time that people don't stand up against them, they'll carry on, and they'll carry on. Now, I believe they've put there's a fine now that if your house isn't up to scratch, they can fine you, I think it's about £15,000. But that'll extend to, if your house isn't up to the green agenda, you're going to get fined. And if you don't bring it up to speed, you'll carry on being fined. But how much will it cost for your house to meet this criteria? And why should an old house have to be completely reworked? All it is they want to make it impossible for private house ownership. So if you're struggling to pay the mortgage, for instance, on an older house, you're certainly not going to have 50, 60, 70 grand to bring that house up to the spec that they're on about, so you'll get continually fined. And what it'll be is you'll have to give the house up. Either you won't be able to sell it, by the way. That'll be something they bring in. So you won't be able to sell it because it's not up to scratch. So what can you do? Oh, well, the good old government will take it off your hands. And then you can live in it, rent-free, possibly, maybe even they'll start charging you rent, and they'll get around to fixing it in their own sweet time, which means it probably won't, but they'll now own the house, and you don't. So that's part of it, but all of this net zero bollocks is just that, bollocks. And it's just a way of releasing your equity, your money, whatever, your funds, your savings, whatever you want to call it, to the government. So there you go. Not the most happy video to start the Monday with, but I just thought it was worth mentioning because people say, oh well, vote Conservative. They'll do the same. It doesn't matter who you get in. It's like two cheeks of the same arse. It's like slow, painful suicide against quick, nasty suicide, or whatever. Either government will carry on fucking you over. And it never ceases to amaze me, right, that we never hold these people to account. You get this shiny wanker, or female bird, or whatever it is, come up and say, I'm going to do this if you vote for me. But they don't do it most of the time. And in the 5 years they get in, they say they're going to change this, 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 this. As soon as they get in, they change their agenda. And then they just carry on doing whatever it is that they want to do. And nobody ever says, hang on a minute, I voted you in because of this and you haven't done it. Now, if there was a system in place where you vote them in, and if they don't do it, they can be fined part of their wages, I wonder how quickly they would. Well, they'd probably just scream blue murder, actually, and just say it was unfair. Because this has never been done before, and how dare you try and hold me to account? I can do what I want, kind of thing, because that's how it is with them, isn't it? And it's amazing, everybody thinks that Labour and Conservative hate each other, and all of that in the comments where you see them banter and bickering and whatever and shouting at each other, it's all just an act. They all go and have a drink together in the bar later and just congratulate themselves on how badly they're fucking over the public and how their acting skills while the camera was on was great, and the veil of democracy, or the faint belief that we actually live in a democratic country. It's alleged that we do, but somebody once said if voting made a difference, they wouldn't let us. And you have to ask or think that's probably true. But there you go. Let me know what you think in the comments. Incidentally, I got porn bombed when I was doing a live stream. Some of you may not know what that is. What it is you let somebody in who pretends to be this person, and then what they do is they put a video of porn and play it while you're doing a live stream in the effort to get you reported and then get your channel taken down. Well, sorry sausage, that live stream is deleted and we won't be making that mistake again. Once bitten, twice shy. But there you go. So it seems that, I don't even know if it was a lefty doing it, it might have just been an idiot, because there's a lot of mentally unwell people out there, isn't there? But yeah, whoever it was trying to get my channel finished. Didn't work, did it? There you go. Right, well, I'm going to carry on with my Monday. Had a lovely weekend, and hopefully it'll go all right. We'll wait and see. Anyway, see you in a bit.